Right now on Wall Street, let's take a look at the numbers. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up about 47.5 points. Not the big rally that we saw yesterday, but still above, as you can see, the 14,000 mark. It looks as though across-the-board spending cuts in federal spending that never were supposed to occur are indeed going to happen tomorrow unless something changes. As ABC's Karen Travers shows us, it appears no action is being taken today to keep them from taking place.
Congress is on the brink of another major deadline, and it looks like they're going to blow right past it. The clock is ticking for lawmakers to come up with an alternative plan to avoid those $85 billion in automatic budget cuts. But there has been no negotiations and little progress.
Unless the House GOP stops the mindless across-the-board spending cuts, you too could lose your job.
We've shown that we can pass bills to replace the sequester. That's why we did it twice. It's time for the Senate to act.
For weeks, the White House has been warning of the dire consequences of these drastic cuts.
I don't think we can maintain the same level of security at all places around the country.
Kids are going to get hurt. Kids are going to get hurt. That's just the reality.
Republicans slammed the administration for resorting to scare tactics. Even New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg, a friend of the White House, took a shot.
There's a lot of posturing. I'm going to lay off my employees today unless you do something. We're going to close the hospitals down. Spare me. I live in that world. I mean, come on.
Well, last night, President Obama softened his language a bit.
This is not a cliff, but it is a tumble downward. A lot of people may not notice the full impact of this sequester.
But he didn't entirely back down.
This is going to be a big hit on the economy.
Later today, the Senate will vote on a Republican measure and a Democratic measure meant to replace the automatic spending cuts. But it's unlikely that either has the votes to pass, which means the spending cuts are inevitable. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Here's a reminder of what those cuts would affect. Children's vaccinations, TSA screening, which could result in major delays at airport checkpoints, meat inspections, which over time could result in higher prices or temporary shortages, national parks could close during summer breaks, and disability checks could be severely delayed. Starting tomorrow, no more of these. The government is stopping paper checks for those who get Social Security, disability, veterans benefits, or a railroad pension. By now, everyone already should have filled out the paperwork to get direct deposit. If you don't have a bank account, your money will be put on a debit card. The only people exempt from the changes, people who are 90 years old and older. This move is supposed to save the government $4.6 million a month. Boeing has presented a plan to Japan on how it will address battery problems with its troubled Dreamliner. It would add safeguards against overheating and potential battery fires. Boeing says these measures are more than adequate for the green light to return the 787s to service. But Japanese investigators say there's not enough evidence yet to prove that the batteries are what's causing the fires on the planes. Stolen artifacts are returned, but not by the men who took them. Surveillance video shows the thieves at work. A lawyer brought the African spears and artwork to the Boulder Police Department. He refused to talk about how he had acquired them, citing attorney-client privilege. Police say the case is not closed.
The return of the stolen items does not stop the investigation. The investigation is continuing, it is active, and we intend to pursue the investigation to try to identify these 4 males and arrest them.
Police say the men probably bragged to somebody about what they stole, and all detectives really need is the thieves' names. The tipster can remain anonymous, or police say the suspects themselves can come turn themselves in to avoid an embarrassing public arrest.
Los terroristas.
Only on 7 News, it may just look like another Harlem Shake, but this one is under investigation by the Federal Aviation Administration. The Colorado College Ultimate Frisbee team performed a mid-air version of the viral dance craze over President's Day weekend on a Frontier Airlines flight from Colorado Springs to San Diego. 7 News now has confirmed the FAA is working to determine if the dance violated any air safety rules. Now, we checked with Frontier Airlines. A spokeswoman tells 7 News, quote, all safety measures were followed and the seatbelt sign was off. 7 News asked an aviation expert who watched the video, and he says he doesn't see any FAA violations.